As future educators, it's so important that we ourselves are educated on ways to make learning easier for our students. So today I want to talk to you about assistive or adaptive technology. First of all, it's important to understand what exactly assistive and adaptive technology is. Assistive and adaptive technology, most commonly referred to as just assistive technology or AT, can be defined as any item, equipment, or product, whether acquired commercially off the shelf, modified, or customized, that is used to increase, maintain, or improve functional capabilities of people with disabilities. Who uses AT? Such a large variety of people benefit from AT. To be specific, it's commonly used by people with autism spectrum disorders, blindness and low vision, deafness and hearing impairments, communication disorders like a stutter, mobility impairments such as paralysis, learning disabilities like dyslexia or ADHD, and cognitive disabilities like Down syndrome. So how is AT used in a classroom? AT is mostly seen used in special needs classrooms, but it's definitely not limited to special needs students. Assistive technology is used in classrooms to aid students who have trouble with listening, math, reading, writing, and executive functioning. Like I said before, AT is typically used with students that have an IEP or a 504 plan. In those situations, the use of an AT is incorporated into their lessons. IDEA, which stands for Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, requires that students incorporate AT into students' education if they have an IEP. Schools also are required to pay for it. Laws are less clear regarding students with a 504, though. In this situation, schools are supposed to allow AT to be used, but they don't actually have to pay for it. It's important to understand that AT can't cure disabilities. They also can't make up for inadequate teaching. But in this situation, the pros definitely outweigh the cons. AT can improve self-confidence, encourage independence, help students work more quickly and accurately, help students set and achieve goals. There are so many different types of AT as well. It could be as simple as something that you make at home, or it could be something as complicated as a computer software system. Low-tech AT are actually devices that don't cost very much, so they're not very complicated to use and they're cheap. Some examples of low-tech AT are communication boards, push balls, which is what that picture to the right is, right here, bar magnifiers with guiding lines, and the master fraction, which is a transparent overlay that assists in understanding math concepts like fractions. A step up is mid-tech AT. It's typically more complicated just a little bit. It requires batteries and just a little bit of training. Some examples are the Neo by AlphaSmart, and it's a simple portable word processor. You also have the Talking Photo Album and the Speaking Homework Whiz. And the Speaking Homework Whiz helps students with reading. The very highest type of AT is high-tech assistive technology, and it's more expensive and more complicated. It definitely can get very pricey and very, very expensive. And some examples here are the Board Maker and Simon Sounds It Out. And this little purple picture here is an example of what Simon Sounds It Out does, and that helps students learn how to read. So to go deeper into AT, the bar magnifier is an example of a low-tech device. It assists students with poor vision, and what it does is it magnifies print, and that reduces eye strain and makes words clearer. There are some bar magnifiers that actually have a guiding line, and it looks like a little highlighter stripe. And what that does is it helps a reader focus on one single line instead of all the lines around it. And so bar magnifiers are not just used for people with poor vision, but it could be used for students who just can't focus on one line. And the cost of that is only around $10, so it's very affordable. The Talking Photo Album is a mid-tech assistive technology, and it's an alternative communication device that's used for students with little to no verbal skills, whether that's autism or another disorder. And it allows students to express what they want or need with the click of a button. So what you do here is you put photos in these little plastic sleeves like a regular photo album, and there's a record button, so you can record corresponding video or corresponding clips of sentences or phrases, and then the student can press the button and it actually verbalizes what's in that picture. So the cost of that is only about $50. The next thing is a board maker, and it's a high-tech assistive technology. It's a communication device that allows the user to create stories with text and symbols. So what the user can do is choose a series of buttons to form a sentence, and then that sentence is actually verbalized through their tablet or their iPad or whatever device they're using. This is a little bit pricier and more complicated to use. The cost is about $199 per year when it's used in one classroom. It's cheaper to use it personally. It's $99 a year when used personally, and then if you use it throughout a district, it gets pricier too. So why do all teachers need to be educated about assistive technology? Not all students that could benefit from assistive technology have an IEP or a 504 plan. You may have a student without one of these plans that truly could benefit from AT. You don't necessarily have to be a special education teacher in order to use these things. So it's important that teachers are aware of resources such as these that could improve a student's ability to learn. You can also pass on the knowledge to other educators that are in a situation that may be helped by an AT. And so on this slide are some websites that I definitely recommend looking into if you are interested in learning more about assistive technology. And so we're going to go and look at them really quickly. Now this first website is not very organized. It's a little all over the place, but the information in it is great. So you have different links to articles such as assistive technology in the classroom right here, disability etiquette, assistive technology overview. You can go down and it has assistive technology basics. What is assistive technology and how is it funded? And they actually have videos on here. This is actually a special education teacher, and in this video she talks about some of the assistive technology that she uses in her classroom. And it's very informative and very helpful, and it's really neat to see what all she uses and how it affects her students. So down here, assistive technology, 10 things to know. There's all kinds of information on here, and I think it's just so helpful and so informative. I definitely recommend going to look at that one if you are interested. This one was released by the Assistive Technology Industry Association, so they obviously know a lot about AT. And this one's a lot neater than the other one. It's easier to navigate, but you can see here that it has different sections that you can click on. What is assistive technology? How do you choose the right assistive technology? Who pays for the assistive technology? And then these last three links are about ITIA, which is the Assistive Technology Industry Association. So if you're interested in that. This first one right here, it explains how AT can be low-tech or high-tech. It can be hardware or software. And you scroll down. This section is how do you choose the right assistive technology. So if you're in a situation where you think your student needs assistive technology but you're not sure what would be beneficial to them, this would be great to look into. It takes you to the American Occupational Therapy Association, the Speech Language Hearing Association, the Council for Exceptional Children, the Learning Disability Association of America, the Rehabilitation, Engineering, and Assistive Technology Society of North America. You can scroll down here and it gives you information about who is required to pay for assistive technology when you use it in a school, or even outside of a school. It goes into Social Security, Veterans Benefits, or state Medicaid agencies. So that's also really helpful, not just to teachers, but to people who may benefit from assistive technology themselves. You can scroll down and it tells you who benefits from AT, which is what we just went over. And then it's just information about ATIA. But yes, I would definitely recommend looking into these websites if you're interested in learning more. They're very, very informative. And here's my reflection. And my bibliography. Thank you guys for watching.